All right, it's Saturday on Your View. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I am Veronica Danikoy. I'm not here alone as usual. I have my beautiful co-hosts joining me this beautiful Saturday morning. Ladies, good morning. It's good to have you. Looking bright and beautiful.
You too.
Some persons wearing new hair do.
Yes, we noticed.
Oh my goodness.
We noticed. You look amazing.
Yeah. Abba. Busy, how are you doing?
You've been amazing. So
Obviously.
I'm looking forward to my events this evening.
Absolutely.
Exclusive Femininity dinner. We're starting by 3 p.m. So about 6 and 6-ish. You know, some people also want to linger and take extra drinks and all that to make provisions for that. So after the show now, just head back, rest a bit, and head out. We're having the events in VI. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing the queens that will come and spend time together sharing.
Someone promised to be there.
Yeah,
someone promised.
Yeah, no, she is there.
Right.
She's
right.
coming. Veronica. She keeps her promise.
You have to go there.
And she fulfills her promise.
Oh, that's nice. Nice.
Ciao.
Toby, good morning. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. But I didn't think you'd call me out.
Why?
But my week was great, great. You know, one of the things for me was that in the last 1 week, I realized that my business was picking up or is picking up. You know, I had a child, so that, you know how it is with entrepreneurship, where it is that, you know, the birth of a child may cause you to slow down on business. But in the last
Every career.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you know, for entrepreneurs, I somehow think that because you're the driver of that conversation or
When
the
you slow down, the business slows down.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that, you know, now I have more space to do my thing. You know, my children are not as dependent on me anymore.
As they
And
used
so in the last 1 week, I was like, God, so this business can pick up again. You know, and I was really grateful
for you.
Testimony time.
Offering
That's
basket.
good. Yes. Pay your tithes.
All right, Dami.
Well, for me, it was relaxing also.
Obviously.
I didn't stress myself.
Obviously.
I'm about the baby girl lifestyle, so
course.
I'm just
Oh
taking
my God.
Aren't we all?
Yes, so.
I'm just taking it easy, yeah. I had a productive week.
Absolutely. We all had a productive
You?
week. Yes, I did. And it was one stressful week, yes, but then it paid off, or it paid off at the end of the day. Talking about having a refreshing time. Sometimes you are so busy, you do not have time for trainings, but I had one. And it was quite refreshing for me and enlightening, capacity building. So it is necessary often time to just do that once in a while, and that happened for me. I had a great time yesterday going out. I saw some things that, you know, just triggered my mind to think about life, basically. I met an elderly woman, and I was like, at some point, we'll all get to this point.
It's so scary.
Baby girl lifestyle.
It's not. I found the recipe to surviving that. Just look through the numbers, pick a favorite date, and stick to it. So like now I'm 16, and I'm going to be 16 for life. Right? Yeah.
So it's all in
It
your
keeps
mind.
you, yes, yeah, it keeps you young and
Yeah.
refreshed.
Right.
And even if you're 50, 60,
16
70,
forever.
you're 16 forever.
All right, we'll take a break now. And when we return, we'll look through the newspaper headlines. To stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Staying with us, let's look through the newspaper headlines now, and we begin with the Nation newspaper. The major story here says tax. Federal government targets double revenues within 3 years. Government aims for 18% tax to GDP ratio. Oyedele heads tax reforms fiscal policy committee. The Economist hails Tinubu's impressive first moves. And then some other stories here. Flood, fear in Bayelsa, Rivers, Delta, Akwa Ibom over poor preparations. Another story here, Southeast divided as seat at home lingers in Enugu, Anambra, Imo. Enugu Tribunal fails to sit as residents stay off streets. Police arrest 15 suspects over shooting in Ebonyi, Abian's Shan protest. Ladoja absent as Olubadan crowns 10 high chiefs. Event won't disrupt Olubadan's ascension. Tinubu family, others hail Abiola on 25th anniversary of death. Adeleke nominates sister-in-law Aregbeshola's allies as commissioners. Bokachua asks court to stop ICPC investigating arresting him. All right, quickly, let me begin with this flood story. So NIMET has been raising the alarm with regards to the rains that will be coming this year. And we know some states, especially those states that were affected last year. We saw some states were actually drowned by the floods last year. And one of them is Bayelsa State and Rivers State also as part of Delta, also Akwa Ibom. And they are saying that since then, and up till now that NIMET has been raising the alarm, there hasn't been enough preparations because oftentimes we hear these persons living around that corridor should move to the uplines, upper end of the state and all of that to avoid flooding. But how do they move if you do not provide places for them to stay? We know that these states are prone to flooding. What are we doing? Do we have to always wait till the floods get here, then we start scampering around, looking for one secondary school to gather these people, and then NEMA says there is a budget, let us buy relief materials? For how long are we going to continue? We should have some arrangement with hospitality organizations, talking about hotels now, have arrangements with them when these issues happen, such that these people can still be comfortable and not be displaced totally, because some persons have not recovered. Farmlands were actually swallowed up. Yes. Last year. Now, food security is a challenge as we speak, and the numbers, our population keeps increasing. What are we doing? We are not tackling this thing head on, and that's the challenge a lot of persons are talking about.
We had, a heated conversation on the flooding, and I said governors in those areas already know that they are flood-prone areas. The sort of houses they should be building there should be different from the regular houses in other states. When you travel abroad, you see houses erected on sticks because those are water, areas. And then the houses won't just be regular houses. We're not
These
thinking
people
about
actually travel, though.
They travel, they see all of these things. They don't come and implement it here. So we can't keep telling people every year, go where? Where are you moving to? There are no houses, there are no shelters that would accommodate them for that time. Some of them don't have relatives that they are going to. They don't have the money to move.
I recall one woman that said she lost everything, her business. She had just moved to a particular place and the floods came, swept everything away. She couldn't save just a few things, one thing or the other. I don't want to mention names of some of the things she was able to save. How long was that going to keep her for? They moved them to a secondary school. Now, the ladies, the men, everybody is packed together. Sanitation, it's just a challenge. The health challenge that comes with this. Anyway, let's move on to another story. Let me not continue. I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, please don't. Calm down. 35-year-old man, I took the story inside the papers, said he had done prison term on charge of rape, has also confessed to committing the same offense with 5 minors since coming out of prison last year. So he said since January, he's been molesting and defiling young children.
Talking about a leopard, not children. It's
So I said that's him confessing to the police now, and the ages of the children are between 5 years to 13 years, and he's done that within the last 6 months. And so he is now in custody of the police, arrested by the Adamawa State Command, and they are going to keep investigating everything that's happening. And that brings me to the fact that sometimes these criminals are not reformed in the prisons. What sort of
Correctional centers.
Yes, correctional.
They're not correcting.
Yeah, they're not correcting anything. So they come out worse. There was a time I also took a story of somebody who went there as a petty thief and came out as a criminal because when they sit together and share stories of how they rob, how they use guns, he was learning from there. And when he came out, he became a proper criminal. So we need to investigate what actually happens in the correctional center. Do they have therapists that talk to them? Do they have life coaches today? I don't know.
I'm surprised you're asking this question when you know what the situation is.
My sister.
You know the number of persons we have in these correctional centers. It is full. It is full.
To
We
the
do not
brim.
have
No
the
capacity.
resources. We don't. And so talking about psychologists.
That's far-reaching, right?
That's going too far.
I also have a story, yes, on page 20. Court refuses bail application of BRT driver who rammed into train. So we would recall that about a
Yes.
few months ago,
Yeah.
there was an accident where a BRT ran into a moving train somewhere in Lagos. And so the driver was in intensive care for 7 weeks. And so he recently was approved to be discharged. And so they had applied for a bail for him. But the judge said that she wasn't going to grant him a bail. That was going to go through the process of prosecution
Wow.
yes, for that offense. And she also highlighted that he was sane. His mental health was perfect. So, you know, that could have been an excuse to confirm maybe he wasn't in his right state of mind. But that was already ruled out by the court. So he's going to go through the process.
Yes, the
That
family
That's good.
reaches out, yes.
Yeah.
past its closure.
Yeah.
And they will be waiting to see that justice is not
done.
just done, but seen to be done. We need to quickly go on a break. When we return, we'll continue looking through the papers. Just stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So if you are just joining us, it's Saturday on Your View, and right now we are looking through the newspaper headlines. And next is the Saturday Punch. The major story here says federal government lines up 8 judges to try 2,000 Boko Haram suspects. Ministry writes NAF to airlift judges, lawyers to detention facilities. Tinubu may discontinue amnesty for insurgents. Why we beg for money, cars, houses, veteran Nollywood stars speaking there. Now, dropouts, crime will rise with varsity tuition hike, NAPTAN president speaking. Arrest, how widow lured Lagos businessman circulating ex-lovers' nudes. Bethesda, church where pastor, choristers, instrumentalists, members are blind. An interesting story there. You're not equal to Olubadan, Makinde tells new Ibadan Obaz. Now, bank customers to get 115 billion naira, $22.7 million refund for failed transactions. Abiola, true hero of democracy, says Tinubu. All right, who has what story here?
I have the story of the man, the businessman, because I do not know what type of business he's doing other than blackmailing women, his lovers, with their nudes. So the headline says, how widow lured Lagos businessman circulating ex-lovers' nudes. So they had met on the Facebook group or WhatsApp group where, you know, there are dating groups where you can meet people who are interested in you. And they were dating. It was nice. So this particular woman actually, when she met the man, it was all rosy. He was buying her gifts, giving her, you know, the good life.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yes, and then they had a misunderstanding which made the woman decide that she wasn't going to continue the relationship. And that was when the blackmail started. He started sending her nudes, and he requested for 100,000 naira for him to delete the nudes. She sent it to him. He requested for another 40,000 naira to delete it permanently. So he did, yeah.
He did not delete it.
He did not delete it. So the woman got worried. He started, even after paying him, he still circulated the nudes, sent it to her former in-laws, because this particular woman is a widow. So he sent it to them.
They were really close for him to
Yes.
know her in-laws.
He destroyed
Her former in-laws.
I think he did that through Facebook.
Yeah, through
All the
Facebook.
contacts on
it's-
Facebook.
Yeah,
Yes, even easy to
sent
find
it.
those things out.
And at a point, she opened up to a friend of hers who decided to mediate between them to say, okay, let's all come together and resolve this issue. But in the meantime, a Punch reporter had been taking on the story to say, this is what this man is doing. And the more the reporter, talked about the story, he kept on leaking the nudes, and he now reached an agreement with the mediator to say, okay, I will stop leaking the nudes if this guy stops taking my story. So they planned with the reporter to say, you know what, just give him this assurance that you would stop, talking about this, so we can all meet at a place and then resolve the matter.
That's why they
And that
grabbed
was-
him.
Yes, and that was how they were able to grab him. And another of his victims also came out to say he had been using her, thinking, okay, they are dating, but he would use her, sleep with her, give her cheap money, give her 1,000 naira transport fare. I don't know. So when she realized that she was just being used, she decided to move on, and he started blackmailing her as well and asking her for money that she did not have. So when they arrested him, they felt, happy, they got some kind of closure that, okay,
This man will be dealt with.
finally, this trauma can end. And it just goes to, because we cannot really blame these women. They are not married women. Some of them are single moms. Some of them are widows.
Is it a crime to
cannot,
date?
Exactly. So you
Is it a crime to find love?
For joining these groups. But sometimes when you meet these people in these groups, you don't have to trust them entirely. Some people just think, okay, because it's a trusted WhatsApp group.
Platform.
Or
Is there anything
Facebook.
like that?
Yes. They just feel that
WhatsApp.
But
They are
maybe
humans.
You can meet anywhere.
Maybe the admins of those groups are actually credible. So they all just assume that for this person to be in this group,
I can put up an impression.
Even in churches, it's not everybody that you meet in, but some people tend to let their guards down because, I meet this person
Once
in church.
they see you in
the same
certain
group.
places.
So
He's a good
you see what
person.
happened
So they
here.
just trust easily.
But these people didn't know that he was taking their pictures.
Yes,
he
they didn't know.
It can happen to anybody.
Yes,
You don't
They
just
didn't
know
know.
that this person is
Right?
scrupulous.
And then he had made them relax.
Yeah.
He was treating her well. The baby girl life, remember now?
The first one,
First and second one was collecting 1,000.
taking advantage of her.
You know, 1,000
because
for someone else is something
he had
major.
sampled and examined who she was
Yeah.
to know how to navigate through, get her and do whatever it was he wanted with her. So these people, they have some level of smartness psychologically.
yeah.
So they will study,
They
to know how
observe
to
you.
deal
They're
with
criminals now. They
That's
learn the
it.
work.
So, they learn the work.
Then I
Some
think
people
that
just wonder
sometimes
what goes on in their head.
those people, do they actually delete the pictures when they say they will? So a blackmailer would never delete. So when he says, send me this amount, I'll delete, is not...
A desperate person
Yes,
will
it
want to
can
send
never.
the money because he knows you don't want to be disgraced.
It never
So the
ends.
person will send the money. It never ends, yes, but some people don't know that.
Yeah.
Now, when they are in need of money, they'll come back to you again asking for money.
My wife, want to release it, Kuku release it.
Just release it yourself.
I'll go and confess.
Have fun. Who has what story
Yes, so the
again?
Central Bank of Nigeria said
Yeah.
it received no fewer than 35,453 complaints from bank customers relating to failed transactions in the last 10 years. And they said during the period, they paid the sum of 105.45 billion and over 22.7 million refunded, to the customers as a result of the failed transaction. And, they said this while they had a program titled, they had a theme promoting alternative payment channels as tools for financial inclusion, went ahead to say that they're trying to, make it very easy for customers not to lose their money in the banks. And if you have any complaints, any failed transactions, you must report to the bank first before you escalate to the CBN if you're not impressed with how the banks handle it. But the title of the thing for me is refunds, and I'm wondering, is there money? If I do a transaction and it fails, and I go and I'm able to get the refund, is my money? You're not paying me anything extra from my money. So I don't know the
And quite
caption.
a number of people have I'm speaking for myself. There are sometimes I've done transactions and the money has entered voicemail, and
No,
even
you
going
did not-
through
you didn't need that money
going through the process. No,
You call them.
I've gone to the bank, sent mails, done a lot of
And
things.
they didn't do
you know,
anything till now?
and it's just been there.
No, it's not possible. We have to
no way.
escalate it.
No way, because I know how I put pressure on them, and they send
They will
back my
vomit that money.
Correct.
Why not? It's my money. Anyway, let's move to the next paper now because we are running out of time gradually. Saturday Tribune, Ojuku's brother begs Tinubu to free Nnamdi Kanu. Chaos in market schools over gunmen in Anambra. We are up to the task, Soludo police saying there. Supreme Court dismisses suit seeking sack of Delta governor. High chiefs become kings in Ibadan. Why we backed their coronation, Makinde? I do not regret being part of Ladoja's impeachment, Babalola Jogo speaking. Express motorist kick as annual proof of ownership payment. Gunmen kill 5 in fresh Plateau attack. 21-year-old Bochi housewife stabs husband to death. Why? But late Isiaka Deleke's widow, Aregbeshola's associates, 22 others make Osun cabinet list. Who has what story?
Okay, I have a story in Tribune, and it just focuses on having a soulmate, the importance of having a soulmate and living happily ever after.
In Tribune.
It's a.
You didn't see it. You missed it.
I was wondering. Tribune.
Yeah, it's a column right there.
Okay.
So the columnist is asking people, do you believe in having a soulmate and do you believe in happily ever after? And it feels refreshing to see people or to read that people still believe in good marriages.
They should.
Because a lot of people with the marriage breakups, the stories, scandals that we're hearing.
You're used to bad news, that's
exactly.
why.
You know,
Not supposed to concern us.
there's that fear, amongst people, especially singles, to say, oh,
Are you sure I want
I want to do this thing like this?
So why are you not seeing it that mine can be different?
Yes.
There's some people who actually say that, oh, my marriage will work, my marriage will... I understand, in I believe in affirmations and all, but do you know what it takes to actually make that marriage work? So some of
Knowledge.
some of these people said, one said life is not a bed of roses, there are good and bad times, so don't expect that it will be all rosy all round.
Hey.
And then one lady said, okay, that she actually believes in a fairy tale marriage because her parents had a very good marriage. Her mother was treated like a
Isn't that
princess.
sweet?
So she is believing that
It
she
will
will
work
get a
for
man
her.
that would, treat her well. And there are some people that are just indifferent, like,
Anyhow.
And so it happens to them that you see, people do not understand that your belief is like a magnet, right? And then what you confess, there is power in your tongue.
Yes.
And so the more you give, you amplify the negatives.
The more it
so
comes.
So the more it comes, you are empowering the negatives. And then when you are trying to now be positive, it struggles to...
It becomes a huge struggle.
Yes.
Marisa Pierre says we make our beliefs and our beliefs make us.
Right.
Irrespective
So
of what is
you now
happening,
struggle,
focus
such
on
things.
what you want.
The positives struggle to manifest. So that's why you hear people say make confessions, positive confessions and all of that.
Affirmations and all.
Affirmation and all. So, but the more you give power to the positives in your tongue, that is what you will attract at the end of the day. So be positive. Yes, things happen, but must it happen to you?
Exactly. It's not supposed to concern you.
Then I think that the people who have good marriages don't speak up.
No.
So bad news travels faster.
When you speak, they don't believe you.
Exactly.
You keep
They
quiet.
think that you are keeping up appearances.
That says tissue any butter in your mouth, but meaning that when things are going on for you, you should keep it hush hush. So that's why
Eat your yam
so they don't jinx it.
something like that. Yes. So I think that people who have good marriages and things are working out for them, please share your stories.
No,
to
it's
encourage
not that easy.
Oh, no, whoever wants to share should share.
they share
But
bad
I think
stories.
if you want to share, go ahead and share. You know what your defense mechanisms are. Whatever happens, you know how to deal with your issues. And you can even put it out there how we were able to deal with certain issues. People will learn. It's all about sharing knowledge. How you put it out, it's your business if you want to put it there. We are expecting Coach Bisi now to be putting it out there.
there was even, I think I saw a reel. I saw a reel on Instagram about this woman, a lady actually. You know, she actually made a reel about taking her husband out to a date just because they are just settled.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah,
Yes.
which was quite inspiring.
Yes.
Okay, you can see me and my husband doing all lovey-dovey, but
It's not all rosy all the time. Yeah, of course.
So they had a very, I think, messy quarrel that they had to take themselves out. They had a dinner.
She took the husband out. Emphasis. She took.
Well,
Yes.
well,
She took the husband out. I saw it. She took to bed.
and then they resolved it. You could see them holding hands, explaining.
People will still doubt. People will still say,
She's looking for crowd.
But the truth is, you don't have to care who believes you or not. Whoever wants to believe will believe.
Honestly.
Whoever wants to take the message out of what you have put out, will take it. So it's not for
it may
everybody.
just be inspiring a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. We have to leave the paper review here now. When we return, we'll look at, or we will be discussing our hot topic. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Now, the Lagos State Police Command has arrested a 44-year-old businessman, Amara Kennedy, who was said to have circulated nude photos of his former lovers. Recall the story we spoke about earlier of some widow whose lover had circulated her photo. He had vowed not to forgive his lovers who he was circulating his photos. And now we'll be speaking with the Lagos State Police Command spokesperson, Benjamin Hundeyin, who will be telling us about how they were able to arrest him, how they were able to nab him, and every other update that we need to know. Good morning, Mr. Hundeyin. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show today.
Right. Talk to us the process or what it took to arrest Mr. Amara Kennedy, who was seemingly on the run when he was being sought after.
Well, he refused to heed the invitation of the police, so we had to bait him. He reached out to his victim, requesting to settle things with her amicably. So he fixed a meeting point. And, you know, the victim, or let's say survivor, that's the right word, the survivor was in constant touch with us. She let us know everything, and we encouraged her to agree to the meeting. And he said that he wanted the woman to use her hands to delete all the pictures from his phone. So since we knew the venue, we knew the time, we were there right way before they got there. And we already knew who we were looking for, we knew what he looked like. So it was easy. The moment he arrived there, our operatives just picked him up. So that was how we came about arresting him.
Okay, last week when this news broke, it was reported in the papers that when the woman came to report to the police was insisting she paid 50,000 naira before the case can be carried out. Can you confirm this, sir?
Yes. Before the case came to headquarters, where we are handling it now, she first went to Pen Cinema Division to report the case. And the police officer on duty was talking about expediting investigation by geolocating the suspect with his phone. And in order to make it fast, I would need to procure a private person who is very good at geolocating or tracking, like many people put it, a suspect. And that would cost money. So that was what explanation. That was the explanation the policeman gave, but that's totally wrong. That's totally unprofessional. Somebody who was being traumatized should not even be told all that. The police officer should have forwarded that geolocation request to the headquarters where it would be handled. So that officer, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State Command, CP Dowo, has he directed immediately that the officer be brought in and be made to pass through disciplinary action because it is clearly a disciplinary offense. So that was totally wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Sir, how often do cases like this arise in our country, and what's the response rate from the police to handle cases like this?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, this is better.
Okay. My question is, how often do cases like this arise in Lagos State and maybe in general Nigeria? And what's the response rate for this kind of situations to be sorted by the police?
Well, we get these cases quite often. I must say that unfortunately, many people are careless. Many people move with people they don't really know. So we get these cases quite often. In fact, that's why we have a gender unit at the headquarters. The gender unit deals with these kind of cases specifically, and domestic and gender, sexual-based violence. So we get it often. And we also have a high success rate when it comes to investigating and prosecuting offenders. Though we don't talk about it much because some of the survivors don't want it in the open. Even though they support our investigation, prosecution takes place, but they don't even want us to talk about it because they feel it's shameful. But we have a high success rate. People report. But sadly, we get these cases quite often.
Okay, so what are the next steps? What should the victims expect going
I'm sorry,
forward?
you need to speak up a bit. I'm sorry.
I said, so what are the next steps? Is it that he would be charged to court, or are the victims willing to let it go or settle out of court? What are the next steps to prosecuting this blackmailer?
For us, we would not even talk about, let's settle. Many people request that, I would like to settle. I would like to compensate the victim. I would like to pay a huge amount of money. And sadly enough, some survivors too come around to say, I want to leave it to God. And since he has paid. Sometimes it's even the family of the survivor that would mount pressure on the survivor and the police to say, we elders of the family have come together and decided that we will leave it to God. But in this particular case, we are not doing that. We need to make people understand that there are consequences for actions. We are not doing that. So this case is definitely, most definitely going to court. So it's left for the survivor to approach the magistrate or during the court proceedings to say, Your Honor, I don't want to do this case anymore. At least nobody would say the police messed up the case. But for us, we are charging the case to court.
Now, what's the situation with the details of the survivors? How is the police handling that? Talking about what the evidence that this man has been using against the survivors, what is the police doing with that aspect as we speak? And is there some protection that the police is giving to the survivors right now such that they do not feel some form of abandonment or fear of attack?
Well, I didn't get the first part of the question. The line was breaking. But the second part, talking about how do we make sure the survivors feel safe,
yes,
and they don't have fear of attack. Well, from the one that we got involved in this case, we've drawn the victim or the survivor like we do others. We drew her very close. She had a meeting with the Commissioner of Police where she was introduced to some other senior officers in the command, female officers. She was introduced to the Assistant Commissioner of Police Administration in the command, the officer in charge of the gender unit, and they exchanged numbers. So we made her feel free to reach out to us. And at the slightest suspicion she has of anything, she feels free already to talk to us. And we are also not going to just let her come in harm's way. We are also monitoring this situation closely. So she has no fear, like other victims do, or other survivors, I'm sorry. She has no fear, she shouldn't worry. We would do our best to make sure that she is safe and remains safe.
The first question I asked was the matter of the nudes that the Mr. Kennedy has. You just spoke about the fact that you are ensuring that you are making her feel safe, or every of his victims feel safe. What is the police doing with the images he has as we speak, such that we do not see any incidents occur at the end of the day?
Okay, I think I understand what you're talking about. If I understand right, the images already in his possession.
Yes.
Well, we have duly secured search warrant, which we are going to execute. And okay, this brings up the discussion around, the police have the right to search phones. Yes, this is the perfect example where the police can search a phone, because the phones, his laptops, and any other electronic gadgets he has are now subject of an ongoing investigation. So we've got a search warrant which we are executing. I think our men are already executing that now as I speak. So we'll try our best to get everything we can. It's possible he has seen some of these pictures in some other places, but we'll try our best to make sure we get everything, just to make sure that further damage is not done, and the lady is not further traumatized.
Right. Okay. So are there other victims willing to come and push their case since this man has been arrested? Because initially they said he had done this to about 9 persons. Hello?
Hello, your last question, please.
Yeah, so I said, are there other victims willing to come and share their story or to take up the case as well? Because according to the initial report, they said they found he had done this to about 9 persons.
Yes, so far we have established that he has done this to 10 widows. 10 widows. 2 have come out to testify against him. And we are hoping, we know some of the others, and we are in touch with them, but we can't force them to testify. But we're in constant touch with them, and our communication channels are open. So anytime they have the confidence to come out, we'll be ever willing to work with them.
Right. We need Nigerians to understand if this is a criminal case. I ask because, sometimes we do not know the gravity of what we're doing, and we just, are concerned about our bellies. So please, can you explain to Nigerians that this is a criminal case? Well, if it is, and are there laws in place already to ensure that prosecutors are brought to book regarding matters like this?
Yes, definitely. It is a criminal case. Blackmail is definitely a criminal case. And it's our duty to enforce duly passed laws. So there's a law against it, and we are enforcing the law. We've apprehended the suspect, and we're going to prosecute the suspect. So that's where our own part of justice ends, and the judiciary will take it up from there, look at the case, and award appropriate punishment. But definitely, it is criminal, and we hope this would provide an opportunity for people to learn and desist from doing such.
So what's your advice for, other women that are going through this? Because there are some women that are still living in fear and they do not know how to approach blackmailers. From your point of view, what do you think, what steps or measures should other victims take in situations like this?
Well, I don't think I got you well, but if it's victims already, people that are already victims, what steps to take? They need to come out. They need to come out. Their identity is, the confidentiality is guaranteed if they choose to go that way. We have a gender unit headed by a woman. Even the deputy is a woman, so they are specialized in these areas. They do trainings a lot, even with foreign partners, with foreign NGOs, so they are very good at what they do. And then, in case I didn't get you well, if it's what advice do I have for women generally who are not even victims yet, I would say, please know who you are moving with. Because in this particular case, the survivor does not even know the man's house. She said, oh, she requested to know his house over and over again, and said, no, we only meet in hotels. So you've been moving with someone for some time and you don't know the person's house. That is a big red flag, a very big red flag. So my advice to people is be careful, very careful who you move with, and don't be too trusting. This woman was very trusting, and that was why this man could go ahead and take pictures. He didn't take pictures of her sleeping. She was awake, she was dressing up and was taking pictures, but no, she was so trusting, she didn't even look back to see what he was doing. So my advice is be very careful, know people well before you become too trusted.
Great.
So what should we expect as justice being seen to be done in this case?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
What should we expect as justice being seen to be done in this case?
What should you expect as justice seems to be done in this case? Well, if that's what you asked,
Yes.
because network is quite bad. Yes, like I said, shortly after we conclude our search, the execution of the search warrant, we'll tidy up the case file, do other things we need to do, and promptly, without wasting time, because justice delayed is justice denied, without wasting time, the case is going to court. In fact, in coming days, rest assured that the case would be charged to court.
All right. Lagos State Spokesman, Police Command, thank you, Benjamin Hundeyin. Thank you for your time on the program. Can you hear me? Right.
Yes, I can hear you.
We're saying thank you for your time on the program.
Oh, thank you for having me on the program today. Thank you.
Right. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll move to our Let's Talk segment. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Still on the JAMB controversies, the Anambra state government has concluded its investigation and will be having the Commissioner for Education in the state join us later to talk more about the outcome. But first, ladies, Mmesoma admitted that she scored 249 as against 362. It has come as some sort of a shocker to a majority of persons that what was her intention in the first place? You came out, did a video saying you were traumatized that JAMB is calling you out. And then you saw how JAMB was going about it, because we had an interview with the spokesperson for JAMB, Dr. Fabian, and he said, he mentioned every time that she went to their system to print out the details, and that she sent the numbers to the code, and then they sent her back the original number. And then she came out to eventually say that, okay, admitted that, you see, it seems that she saw that she was being closed up on, talking about JAMB was closing up on her with regards to all of these issues, with the evidence they had, and she had no choice but to admit. But another thing that became concerning was her father was defending his daughter. Was he ignorant of what happened? Who was putting her under pressure? What really was going on? Could she have done this on her own, or she got some support? Yes, everybody discovered that there were people JAMB Phone app that people could easily, just put together results and all of that. And we saw that, okay, JAMB had changed its template. As at 2021, that was the template it was using, and right now it has a new template. So could she have done this on her own? What really happened?
My sister, if you ask me, now who I go ask? Right. You know, when we talked about this Mmesoma's issue, we spoke as mothers. We spoke because we thought she was a minor. You know, the first age that was being paraded was 16. And we spoke because we know the precedents of our systems, our government systems, our educational systems, and the glitches that they have. And, you know, we're looking at the matter to say, could it be that JAMB also had its fault here, if there was a glitch, technical glitch that could have affected? And we also did some research and found that to check your results, you have other apps that JAMB uses, you know, so anything could have happened from that. We're looking at it from that angle, and the fact that she came out looking very innocent, but someone pointed out something that got me thinking when I went back home. Said the words she was using, sounded like she was being coached on what to say in the video. I am not capable of doing this.
I'm traumatized.
I'm traumatized.
Someone will say, I can't.
If at that age, if you want to explain this, you will use the words, I can't do this kind of thing. But she seemed to have been coached. And it looked like JAMB was just trying to pass the buck. You know, they don't want to own up to the fact that they had failed in this way or the other way. And when I listened to the radio as well, a lot of people were calling in different shows saying that they had issues with their results as well. They had to go back to JAMB. And it seemed like the regular thing that happens in Nigeria. But for me to now see the report, that it was this girl that sat with her phone to do this. She is not a child. She's 19.
She's 19.
Yes, she's an adult by...
The father even confirmed it.
Yes. And so she should be punished. This is fraud. And this investigation should not end here. We need to find who gave her the morale, who gave her the support, who gave her the encouragement to do this. If she did it single-handedly, that means she must have done things that are not this big to get to this point. Because you can't just wake up one day and want to manipulate your results from JAMB. To what end? What do you want? What are you looking for?
You can
249 is passed.
Yeah.
You can access any course in any university. Why do you need 362?
Now, in fact, you know the app is everywhere. So you can sit in the comfort of your home and just input whatever score you want.
Yeah.
But the issue for me is that you went to the extent of declaring yourself
The winner.
that you are the highest scorer, right? And then you are insisting that you scored this mark, 362, and you came out boldly
Boldly or with your full chest.
to say that you were traumatized by what JAMB was doing. That is my issue, because you can pick up your phone and do anything.
And do that.
But that you came out, declared yourself. Meanwhile, there is a 360 person
Who was quiet?
quiet. JAMB even delayed in even pronouncing that person as the highest scorer. Until this matter came out, a lot of persons did not know who the highest scorer was.
True.
So I think that's the lapse on JAMB's part. Declare this person
No, we'll talk about
early
JAMB's
enough.
lapses, though. That one is
And
another
then
issue.
any other person that comes out to say, I did this, I did that, JAMB has to be the one to declare whoever
Immediately,
it is
as a matter of fact.
that has the highest score. That is my issue.
What made this issue even more unbelievable is that this girl has a precedence of, you know, scoring very high.
They say, oh,
At this point, are we even
She also
sure?
said it. She said it confidently that,
No,
ever since she's been
we
in
can't
her
trust that.
nursery
We can't
school,
trust that.
Yeah, but from nursery, I'm not sure she had that, you know.
We don't
that
know,
I
understanding.
can't tell you anything.
And then her principal also confirms that she's a brilliant student. She's also one of their top. But
Have to
then,
project the school.
maybe not.
249 is good enough.
Maybe not. But then, with what she has done now, I think even the school needs to go back to check, because she could have been using microchips
to
pass the exam.
Yeah.
All along, they thought that she was brilliant.
Microchip.
Yes,
Exactly.
you didn't
I
know
really
about
wanted
That's
to
the
give
high
her,
name. Chukuli.
I really wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt to say, this young girl,
Sincerely, I was.
Yeah,
Looks
but then
innocent.
but when JAMB kept on insisting that paper she had was totally different from what they used this year, that's when I became confused that this girl, she might be doing something that we do not know, but because she's so young, so innocent, she manipulated everybody to her side, and she must have seen somebody get away with it. They must have been doing it. Because when I was in secondary school, right, there was a particular time that, somebody just came to school and said, oh, if you want SSC exam papers, because we had a WIC office
Every
just
school had that.
adjacent to us. You know, and
Like
there were
special
people-
center stuff.
Not special center, like the WIC office,
Okay.
Abeokuta branch or Ogun State, but was right adjacent to our school. So somebody from there had gotten the papers, and they started circulating to secondary schools around there to say, if you want to, I have your exams, the one that you're going to write tomorrow.
They won.
Exactly. And then people were buying. And then there were people who actually got away with it in the previous sets. So even our sets, there were some people that were asking, how do you want to, I have this. So, but for the fear of God, you say, how do I carry this? What if they catch this thing with me?
We all had that experience.
So there's a possibility that they must have been using that app, to manipulate results. I don't think it just came
just
to her
dropped
to
her.
think that, oh, I can also do this.
Why JAMB?
As well.
So for me, I like to say, in scenarios like this, I like to say, what is the lesson for me? And basically, number one is that the internet never forgets.
Yeah.
And extending from that quote, I would say tech never forgets. You probably would think that what you're doing on your phone just seems like something really minute.
You're leaving digital
There's
footprints.
footprints on the cloud.
On the net,
All
actually.
those things matter a lot. So I would take that with me to be more careful going forward when I want to do things. And the second thing I would say is that what we're playing with is not playing with us as a system, as parents, as citizens of this country. Who are the people raising children like this that would actually think of doing this or encourage people or children to go through this extent, And in my head, I'm like, this girl is 19 years. I tried to think about what I was doing when I was 19. But we see that the generation today, the kind of children the Gen Zs were raising today, are thinking times 1 billion, more than what it is that we are thinking about. And so I say,
That's scary.
what we're playing with is not,
Not playing with us. I like that.
It's because over the years, we have had a failed system. And we did not take up the responsibility to address it immediately. The matter of exam malpractice did not start today.
Mbano.
It has been there over the years. It keeps evolving.
Absolutely.
And if we do not deal with it, it will evolve further to the extent that if JAMB does not ensure that its system is foolproof, or any examination,
At all.
any one of them, JAMB or WAECO, if they do not ensure that it is foolproof, people will hack their system and do everything that they need to do. And they will not even find footprints. Maybe we are still finding footprints now.
Yeah.
At some point, you may not be able to trace some of these things. They will do it to that length. Talking about parenting, the father may not really know his daughter.
Before.
Kai, that's even worse off.
How many of our parents
Because
knew us?
some of the students, when they go to
Are
school,
young.
the kinds of persons they mingle with,
Yeah.
you will be shocked.
True.
And so the daughter you sent to school
It's not
will
the daughter that
return
comes home.
different. It's not the same daughter that came back home.
Yes, sir.
Except you have that wisdom to know that, okay, this is my daughter. How she's looking, she's acting different.
Except you are deliberate.
Intentional
deliberate
parenting.
Intentional parenting.
And intentionality comes from you being circumspect, you being sensitive to the changes on the ground and in your child.
You
We
give
have
it
a caller
time
on the-
too.
We have a caller
My sister.
on the line.
It's a lot.
All right, Praise is calling in. Praise, good morning. Please share with us your contribution.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
It is Stephen Praise from ULAG.
All right.
Yeah, looking at the thing on ground, like this Mmesoma stuff,
Yeah.
I believe we need to tread carefully. I'm not actually supporting her, neither am I supporting the government.
Okay.
I want us to dissect this matter very, very carefully. When the whole thing started, I was actually following it from both on TV and on radio. And there came a time, about 2 different times, that callers called, were saying their own. A woman called and said she knows this girl very well, that she has taught her in primary school. That she knows her to be a very sound person. That one way or the other, she will advise that they call her privately into the JAMB office and set questions for her in order to prove something. Because we know the government we have this time, they will never come to admit, even if the fault is from them. I'm not saying the girl is right or wrong now.
So what are you saying exactly? Let's get what you are saying exactly, because
okay.
yes.
I am saying that anything might have happened before she could eventually come up to say what she said openly now.
So tell us what you think could have happened.
Look on the word coercion.
From who?
From either the JAMB or anybody. I'm not saying she's right. But
JAMB coerced her to forge the result? Is that what you're saying?
No. No, to say what she actually said now, that she admits it.
Really?
I'm not saying she's support. She's right or wrong.
Okay.
But for her to have come up all the while to be saying no. And she said when DSS was being called to come and pick her, they scanned that thing several times. Different names were coming up. Then we have callers that have also called that why can't they just put her up on panel and set questions for her to really prove whether it's her worst, is what she can produce, what she can do or not. The way she's now saying it lastly now, that she eventually did it.
Yes.
So, sir, please, are you aware that they set up a panel of inquiry different from JAMB to carry out this investigation?
Okay.
The government actually set out a panel of inquiry that handled this investigation before her confessions came out. So it's not JAMB that handled everything. You know, we had accused and we are told JAMB to take their hands off so that an independent body can look through and see. And that is where this result is coming from now and her confessions. Are you aware of that, sir?
Yes, I am.
Yes. So if an independent body that has no stake with JAMB is saying that this girl is guilty, what else are we saying?
Okay. Your word now, you are using the word independent body.
Yes, sir.
In Nigeria, do we 100% trust any so-called independent body?
What did they again, sir?
So who should investigate then?
Maybe the church.
Well,
who should investigate?
You just need to look at this thing in all ramifications.
That's why we're having this conversation.
It's fine. But do we really trust any so-called independent body now in Nigeria?
So if we are to investigate, who should do it?
Yes. Who should investigate?
Okay. No.
Somebody has to step in, sir.
Someone has to do it.
Thank you.
Well, you see, these are some of the issues. I know that trust is a challenge. People do not trust the government. But if we keep using, rubbing things on the surface and not dealing with it to the root, are you saying we should not investigate? How will JAMB coerce her to confess? JAMB came up with the template. We all saw it, that this is the template that we are using now. It's different from what she used. The QR code, which is their security, one of the security impressions on the results, is not even her name.
Someone else's name.
Someone else's name.
Yeah. In 2021.
So what are we still asking JAMB to do? Or what are we asking the government to do to prove that this thing actually happened?
We will always, some persons will always choose what to believe, even if you present all the facts.
Right.
You have a call? Go ahead.
We need to go on a break.
Okay.
All right. We'll go on this short break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, thank you for staying with us. We're still looking at the JAMB controversy where Ejikeme Mmesoma has finally admitted to scoring 249 as against 362. Right, you can join the conversation and call us on 081-0764-1679 or 090-241-63440 or tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag #YourViewOnTVC. You had a line of thought.
Yes, so I was saying that, you know, people would always believe what they want to believe, no matter the facts you put in front of them.
Yeah.
It's a mindset issue. They have a mindset that the government is fraudulent, a mindset that the churches are fraudulent, the mosques are fraudulent, everybody is fraudulent. So it's very difficult to prove your case to such people. But that's not the idea. It's not about proving, okay?
We continue that thoughts. We have Engineer Ibrahim from Okota. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning.
Right.
I must commend you for the work you are doing.
Thank you.
I'm trying to investigate this matter.
Thank you.
Everybody, we kept our fingers crossed to get to the bottom of this issue. So regarding technology, technology is very good to, to unravel anything, maybe any fraud in this country. And the JAMB came out to see this is what happened. We didn't believe it. And it went on, and the guest kept on bringing another thing. No. For me, dragging it for too long, it wasn't necessary. I must commend the Anambra team, bringing the girl down. I'm sure they must have talked to her. Please tell us the truth. We will protect you. We'll do this, we'll do that. The conspirators, you refuse to give them, up. And you must commend her for that, because if she gives them up, anything can happen to that girl. Maybe they can further protect her for her to reveal, those conspirators. But it's a high-level stuff, she has done. I don't know why somebody will have that mind. You have a good score, you can, enter some school, so why go to that length, And you even rub off, the best scorer. You refuse to get the glory. We are not even celebrating the best scorer. Maybe you bring the best scorer to your studio to celebrate her. Right. Maybe they just wanted to push our points up. They didn't know that it's going to have the highest score. So JAMB wouldn't have detected. Maybe some school will not have noticed. Maybe. So, but unfortunately for her, he became the highest scorer in the country by that act. And that's what gave her hope. I must commend the JAMB team and the Anambra team. And I must commend your view, for helping us, bringing this issue on and on, trying to get to the bottom.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Engineer Ibrahim, for your contribution. You can just quickly wrap up your thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah. No. So we'll continue the conversation. We are continuing the conversation.
Yes. Okay. So I was saying that no matter what you do, the people who will distrust will always distrust. And that is where our systems must be fixed so that the system will take its course. Whether you are trusting or not is not the system's business. If the facts are presented, they will do what needs to be done and everybody can move on. Over time, if we see that systems are working, we can now begin to trust the system. For some people will still be doubting Thomases for the rest of their life. That's their path. So also, this points to the failure of our foundational education. Before we get to the university, the foundation, the crux of our education is the primary school and the secondary school. We do not have enough qualified teachers in our primary schools. And once you miss it in that formative years, you struggle to get it right. University is you just broadening on the department or the faculty or the subject that you have chosen and specializing in it. The real crux of education starts from the primary. Do we have qualified teachers? I've seen schools that, like some of these private schools that really invest in, and of course, quality education is expensive. Absolutely. Invest in quality teachers. And I see that their students scale, they don't have to look for special center. The child already is growing into understanding what is needed, and they're able to pass their examinations. We have children who come home with A's and A stars because from foundation, we see that they are doing the work, we're following up on the assignments, we're seeing the projects, and everything goes. If our educational system can be looked into, we may not need so many people trying to falsify their results because they have missed. There's what they call foundational gaps. And parents are always pushing their children. You people should calm down. I had to make my children repeat some classes because I noticed that there were foundational gaps. And when the teachers had that conversation with me, I said, you people are repeating. And everybody's looking at me. Their cousins are in secondary school already. My son is just graduating from primary school. He has cousins who are already in secondary school, but I knew what I was looking for. Yeah. Are we willing to pay that price? Are we willing to go through that sacrifice?
To this payment of price by parents, but we have Ibrahim calling from Orile. Ibrahim, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your contribution.
Is it my view? Because I thought my
Could you speak up a bit? We are struggling to hear you.
Good morning. Number one, we are not debating, we are not talking the facts here. Like, number one, the media needs to apologize to JAMB. The media needs to apologize to JAMB. That is the institution. That is number one.
Okay. Is that all? Okay, he says the media needs to apologize to JAMB. And, well, I think that we have done that. Apologizing to JAMB is giving them the platform to air their views, to tell us the truth, giving JAMB that room to speak. Nobody actually brought me there, condemned JAMB.
No, we're doing our job.
We're doing our job by asking JAMB to speak.
The right question.
You know, tell us what the truth is about this matter. What were the facts? And they placed it on the table. So there is nothing to apologize for necessarily because nobody actually tore JAMB apart. I think that has to be stated. Now, we were talking about payment of price by parents.
Yes.
It's important.
Very important.
Now, you talked about miracle centers or special centers.
Miracle centers. You carry and go church. Special centers.
See, if there is no market for a business, it will not thrive.
True.
There is a market. And who are those fueling that market?
Parents. A lot of
That's
them.
why this business is thriving.
Yes. The competition.
It has to begin from the home. Yes. All these things that we are saying, it has to begin from the home. What kind of foundation are you laying for your children? If you're not laying the right foundation, then all of these things, I mean, you need to see some parents pushing their children.
Yeah,
the children are not yet mature.
At all.
It's as if they want to live
You must
through
get
them.
into the age of 14.
At 14.
And whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I mean,
whatever it takes.
that is why we're churning out half-baked graduates.
They go there and join cults because they are
Parents
not
are the
wise
ones
enough
that,
to say
see,
no.
we must tell ourselves the truth if we want to move forward. And are we ready to accept that truth? Parents need to sit back and allow their children be. Nurture your child to be a wholesome individual. There are so many gaps. Everything is not government.
Yes, so.
Who even makes up the government?
It's not
Like us,
Parents.
Parents are part of it.
Yes, the society.
All right, we have Olawale on the line. Olawale, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, good morning, man.
Morning.
You people are really trying, so.
Thank you.
About the lady in question, because I'm not really happy, but thank God she's a lady like you. I think the person that later took over our best now, the 360 daughters now. I think the best thing that you can do for her is to bring her to the program. Let's celebrate her. Let's all the Nigerians celebrate her, and you media.
The media has started doing that.
No, what I mean is that the media have been maybe peradventure or take side of the other lady that was proud before by abusing JAMB, because most of you don't even believe in JAMB.
No, we did not abuse JAMB. We never abused JAMB. We only called JAMB to ask. We asked them questions.
Some of the TV stations are abusing JAMB. Go on. We are the viewer. We are watching most of the stations. You understand? So, like me now, I wrote JAMB 3 times. This fraud has been long. That people have been fraud JAMB long.
But
so I think as your view now, please, as a lady, invite the overall best, the lady that gets 360 down.
Yes.
Let help all the Nigerians here in your view. I'm not directing you up, commanding you, but I think
you are making suggestions, and we are listening to you.
Thank you.
And you can even say for a fact that TVC, your view, every other program on TVC did not abused JAMB or did not make any derogatory statement about JAMB. We only called JAMB and asked them questions which they answered. Basically, that was what we did. We ensured that we are as professional as possible. Right. We're talking about parents, yes.
Yeah, I was going to continue your line of thoughts about parenting and how parents should be more realistic about their children. Because I think some parents want to live through their children. The parents who actually push their kids more are the ones who did not do so well in school. And then over time, they realized that, oh, if I had done, you know, but maybe over time they've developed themselves and wish they did so well when they were growing up. So they tend to pass on that expectation on the children. And talking about the girl's father, this man was saying that he's also been robbed of something that he was supposed to win in maybe 1996, and that is the same thing that they are doing to his child.
His daughter.
That they're trying to take advantage of the girl the same way they took advantage of him when he won a musical competition. That they would not agree.
Things are coming from.
Deep-seated or
see, yes. Okay, before I say something, there's Lola calling from Egbeda. Lola, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There's been a lot of discussion around this girl is very brilliant. She is very good right from primary school also. I want to paint a scenario where we have a medical department where almost everybody who comes into the department, they are whole geniuses in their various schools or wherever it is they're coming from. But once they get into the school, what happens? You now find out that the very genius that used to be top of the class, somebody goes down, somebody is in the middle. We're talking about JAMB. Almost everybody, out of thousands of students that sat for JAMB, you have one genius or the other among them, but only one person eventually becomes the top. You know, when people are justifying whatever she did and say, oh, yeah, she used to be very good, she's very intelligent, there are other students that are still very, very intelligent.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are playing to this because of the whole election tension and where some people are even calling it a tribal this or a tribal that, which I think it's insane. This guy is wrong, and if, who knows, maybe she knows about special center or no special center. And you just find out that she has been misled one way or the other. There was a woman, I was watching journalists hangout, a woman called and said, even before the thing became a public issue, that her daughter showed her and said, Mommy, this result is different, the template is different from my own. Are you sure this thing is original? Like, let's just be realistic and stop saying, oh, because she's this, maybe somebody decided that maybe JAMB has not done the thorough job. They've printed everything, the evidences are there, but you know, people decide, since it is the government, they can't be right. It's insane.
Thank you, Lola. Thank you so much for that contribution. Still goes to what we talked about, trusting the government, bottom line, and also the templates that JAMB showed us. Yes, Toby, you wanted to say?
Yes, so I think that going forward, we must begin to pass on the narrative of telling our children that it is okay to fail, right? In this particular scenario, she didn't fail, but you know, there's something about the fear of people not recognizing my efforts, right? And that's very important. And this is another wake-up call for people around, community members. So I would recall that, you know, when they say that when a child is raised by the community, such that in times past, if you're doing something wrong, you will even be scared when they say, I will tell your mother. But these days, we find out that people are very individualistic. They don't want to even correct another person's child. It's not my business. Right? It's not my business, and everybody is just keeping that straight face. But the truth about it is that there's a ripple effect of these things, because your child would interact with those people in school, in churches, and in other places. And I was also going to say that at the end of the day, if she had someone to speak with, to give her an advice, to say, Auntie, what do you think about this thing, you see? But the aunties are busy being busy and not even contributing to ensure that the children around them
want to speak with anyone. They feel they have a mind of their own. They have a mind of their own, and they feel that they know it all.
But approach matters. If you approach a child and say...
That is the one that wants to approach.
No, I mean as the adult.
Right?
If you relate with a child, the child would be drawn to you somehow, such that you're able to even hear what the child has to say, whether it makes sense or not.
She may not have them. Yeah, that's she may
around.
not. And oftentimes what you see with persons around this age is you cannot tell me anything.
Yeah, so
I know what to do.
yes, just
Yes,
teenage
just
now.
yes,
So-
because they feel that I have come of age. It is time for me to start making decisions on my own. So don't come and lord it up on me. I know maybe you failed in your own time. Or me, I am not going to take failure. I'm going to do this, and I will get on with it.
May not
Nothing
have
we have
told
to
anybody.
So are we trying to assume maybe that she may have done this on her own without...
It's possible. The app is there.
Possible.
It's
It's
possible.
possible that she did it.
Possible.
difficult.
It may
You have
be a
Canva.
conversation
There's so many
amongst
apps.
her peers, right? But my issue, like I mentioned earlier, is you going out
Your foot chest.
to say that you scored highest in JAMB,
Your mess up.
and you were also, you know, confronting JAMB to say that I actually scored this. It is you, JAMB,
put
that does not know what you are doing.
Country.
Who put the video for her? Who recorded her?
Somebody
now
coached
also-
her.
You see, so at some point,
The person may not necessarily be coaching her. It is about ignorance can also come to play. What if her parents or whoever is around her do not
Just
know
believed.
better?
And they
Because
say, no,
they trust
don't
you.
allow them cheat you.
Don't allow them cheat you.
Don't allow them cheat you.
You-
Say
you
it
must-
like this. Don't allow them cheat you without
we-
even having an
we-
understanding of what happened.
what we are playing with is not playing with us. So.
We need to.
Hey.
You need to leave this conversation here now. I think we are going on a break. Interesting.
We're not going on a break.
We are not going on a break. We're actually wrapping things up.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah.
We do quickly because we have.
Okay,
Gabby,
just
so
a few
to
more
wrap-
minutes. Yes, so I understand the
In
dynamics.
30 seconds.
Okay, now what for you? How do I understand the dynamics. Not everybody has that close-knit family where the parents are deliberate, and you will not fault them. Sometimes poverty, illiteracy would affect how some of these kids are raised. But if you're a parent today and you must learn how to pay attention to your children's patterns. I had a friend who came back one day shouting that the child changed the name of, so her book got lost in class. And I took another person's completed notebook and cleaned the name of the person and put, she ran to my house crying. What? I said, no, she's a child. We can deal with it now. So she has to be punished. She has to understand the gravity of what she has done. You will drag her to the school to report to the teacher. You know, follow through in those measures because they start showing these signs from very early on. You just rushed me now. I hope I made sense.
Yes, you did actually. Talking
Thank
about
you.
parents knowing your child and ensuring that they are conscious of whatever is happening around their children. Don't put your children under pressure to fulfill whatever it is you missed.
To fulfill your own dream.
Your own dreams, and then do not have any form of competition. Oh, this family is doing this and
Can't
that.
you see?
You must.
Can't you see
You must,
XYZ
So
child?
we must let things, just allow your child grow and go through the phases of growth. Bottom line, we need to end things.
Thank you.
Nah.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of the show. This is where we wrap things up. We'll see you next week. To stay safe, bye for now. The beautiful game is next.